Hello everyone, look what I've got. I have for you 3 of the 2026 Thomas Diecast. I've got Thomas, I've got Percy, and I've got James. I think I'm a little late to the party. I'm sure many people have reviewed these by now. I only found them yesterday, but now you get to hear my opinion. And to be honest, that's the only one that matters, because it's me. All those other guys, you know, who cares? So fun story, I found these guys at Target for, I think like the last, I want to say like 4 or 5 years. I haven't seen any Thomas stuff at Target. I think the most I've seen is one of the big All Engines Go play sets for like the really like little itty bitty toddler line. Whatever the hell that's called. Haven't seen the diecast, haven't seen the motorized. I'd only find Thomas stuff at like Walmart. That was like the only one. Sometimes Kohl's, but mostly Walmart. So with the reboot, I was really interested to see if Target would get anything. Because like I said, I didn't see anything at Target for a really long time. Even last year with the anniversary, I was like, oh, it's the anniversary. Maybe they'll have stuff at Target. They didn't. They didn't have shit at Target. But now with the reboot, they've got stuff at Target. And it's only the diecast. They didn't have the motorized stuff. They didn't have like the whistling Thomas or like the bigger Thomas and Percy that like talk, I think. They didn't have those. And then like they didn't have like the anniversary stuff from last year or anything for All Engines Go. It was just the diecast for the reboot, but it was a pretty good selection. I think they had almost everything. I did get some video of it. Here it is.
Look, here's your proof. There's the Timoth set and all these guys. Whole bunch of them. So he's back at Target. Whoa, only took him like 5 years.
I just skimmed over it, got these 3. I didn't really look to see if everything from the first wave was available. I just know they had most of it, it seemed. I do know there has been some controversy with these, that some of the quality control on these isn't great. I think it's more so with motorized. That seems to have a lot of issues. Diecasts, I think, are pretty good. I think the biggest one I've seen is that in the track pack, the Percy's magnets are switched. So I don't know, we might see if that's a problem with this one. But I've seen most of the problems seem to be with the motorized stuff. I don't know if that's just Mattel being cheap, or if it's just because, you know, it's the first production run of these. So I don't know. Maybe that'll get fixed, maybe it won't, I don't know. But from what I can tell, it seems like the diecast stuff is
pretty darn good.
So hopefully these won't explode or disintegrate as soon as we rip them out of the box. Speaking of ripping things out of boxes, let's do that now. Oh, that was louder than I thought. I should also mention, I am doing this review in a hotel, so I'm not going to be able to do my usual comparisons and everything like I usually do in my reviews. So yeah. But since we're here, I will do a very brief hotel tour. Bed Bath Beyond. Right now that that's out of the way, let's look at our boy Thomas. And yeah, this is the new packaging style for the 2026 reboot, and I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty simple, just some basic blue background here and here, and then this kind of tan one. Kind of make the actual die-casts pop out a little bit. You got this track here. You have the controversial promo art here. You got this arrow saying new, nuevo, 2026. It'll probably only be on these. Then you have character name, the new logo, which I think is pretty nice. It's a little different. It's curved, doesn't use flangey, my favorite font, but you know, I think it's fine. Ugh. I also have that YouTube Kids thing at the top. This little metal thing. Go on the back.
We have all the words, all the legal mumbo jumbo that we all know and love. But we also have other characters you can collect.
Wow!
That's pretty fun. This is cool that this is back, because for a long time, I think even before All Engines Go, I think late CGI, the back of these cards were just all the legal crap and warning symbols and everything, which most of it is still. There's just this little break here where they have the other things that you can buy. But, you know, I think this is very important to have. I mean, obviously this is, legally speaking, very important to have, so nothing we can do about all of this getting removed, because legally it cannot. But this stuff, for the consumer, I think is important, so they know what else they can get, and sort of incentivizes them to collect more and, you know, get all these other characters. So we got Thomas, Percy, Diesel, Rosie, the troublesome truck, the really dumb looking Harold, and the also very stupid looking Toby. But I gotta talk about this. We have to talk about this because, of course, there were allegations and theories that the promo art on this packaging across all of the products is AI generated. I believe multiple people have proven it is not, and these are just really bad Photoshops, but these days, who knows? I'm going to trust that it isn't, because, you know, people have actually gone in, analyzed these images, run them through AI image generated detectors and whatever, and really looked at these to figure out if they are AI or not, and have deduced that it isn't. Of course, those could be false, and they still could be AI, or they could be Photoshop, but maybe AI was used to enhance the image. I don't know. AI could have been used even if this isn't fully AI generated. I don't know, but from what I know, these have been proven not to be AI. So if that is something that you are concerned about, if you do think this is AI and you do not want to buy these to support that, I totally understand, because AI is awful. I don't know if this is AI. I choose to believe it is not, because people have really analyzed these images to prove that they're not, or figure out that they're not. But if you do think these are AI and you do not feel comfortable buying these and supporting that, I totally get that, and you know, that's fine. Anyway, I do want to comment as well on the redesigns, because a lot of these characters have been redesigned for this show, and the promo art, regardless of how it was made, doesn't fully reflect that. And especially with Thomas, we have a couple things we can go off of besides this art and the toy, because we also have this 5-second clip from the actual show, the finished animation. Which is all we have from the show at the time of recording this. That's all we have from the actual show, is just that 5-second clip with no sound. I don't know why there are any sound effects there, but there aren't. So, yeah, a lot of people are very critical of the new reboot and its designs. And like I said with Harold, I really do not like the new Harold. I also really do not like the new Birdie. And I don't really... I think those are the only two I really do not like. This Harold just feels too modern for me. And Birdie, I don't know. Birdie just is too over-designed and complicated compared to his original design. But Thomas has come out pretty unscathed, especially here. This is just the most basic Thomas you can get with the new face. It's just Thomas. He doesn't even have the rivets and the handrails on him. He just is, you know, classic, simple Thomas with the new face. And I don't know, I don't mind the face. It's kind of growing on me. I think it looks a little better in the show. Here, I think it looks okay, and on the toy, I'll find out on the toy. But across all of these, we can get a better look at it with James, which I'll get to James in a little bit. It's our character here in this kind of golden hour lighting with a viaduct in this little building, and a little countryside field in the background, which, hey, I like. That's a that's a thing that reminds me of classic Thomas, so that's good. So yeah, we're gonna rip this guy open and see what's inside, because I've been yapping for almost 11 minutes now. Let's get him open and play. Oh my god, I'm making an ass out of myself. All right, here we go. I'm gonna open it, everybody. Get ready. Look at that new Thomas. We're opening the new Thomas toy. And there he is, out of the box. Wow, there he is. He's decent weight. That wheel goes up a little bit. The middle wheel. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Let's now open Percy. There's the Percy card. There's the back. There's Percy in the box for everybody curious. I'll get a clean slate of him. Here we go. All right, let's rip him open. Originally, I was gonna get just Thomas, but then I was like, no, I gotta get some friends. It's Thomas and friends, and also then we can, see how they go together and whatnot. So here's Percy out of his box. What is? I don't know where that's from. Is that from Thomas? I don't know. There's Percy. I think he's a little heftier than Thomas. And then here's James.
Here's James!
Thank you, Jim. Let's see the back of James' box. Okay, James has a different back to his box. So he's got Henry, he's got James, he's got Gordon, he's got Thomas and Annie, and he's got Oliver and Toad. So these, I think these are, they call these the deluxe packs. It's nice that they have the other deluxe figures. These aren't figures. God, it's Comic-Con right now, so all the action figure companies are revealing new figures, so I have action figures on my mind, and I'm just so used to talking about those that I forgot. These are not action figures, these are trains. I'm not reviewing a Marvel Legends action figure, I'm reviewing Thomas the Tank Engine trains. So, as I was saying, with these deluxe edition engines, it's nice that they have the other deluxe editions on the back. And also, I want to say, I forgot, Annie and Clarabelle have these gray faces now. That's a change, but also, Oliver and Toad are back, and that makes me happy because they're cool. So, also Henry. Henry is back. And Edward. And Toby, even though he looks weird. So, here you go. Okay, let's open up James. There we go. James. Here is James. All right. There's the classic trio together. Let's take a look at them. All right. We're starting with our boy. Get back there, you turd. Okay, we're gonna start with our boy Thomas. So here he is, the new 2026 Thomas the Tank Engine. Right off the bat, I think this is pretty good. I think he's well proportioned. I think, I don't know, maybe better than the anniversary diecast from last year. Again, I don't have one to compare it to currently, but I don't know, I think this looks a little bit more like Thomas than that. And that one also was really good.
Yep, good stuff.
But I think just the way that the cab is done and then how tall the dome and funnel are in comparison, I think it's pretty close to those. And I think also lengthwise, this is pretty good. I think you could have maybe made him just a teensy bit shorter, maybe. I think this is pretty good. There's his face. I think it looks fine. I don't like his eyelids. I think my biggest problem are the eyelids. He kind of has like a lazy eye going on. But besides that, I think the face is fine. Again, I think in toy form, I think it's the worst. And then the promo images are a little better, and then the actual animated version that we're going to see in the show is the best one, but it's growing on me. I think the older faces, the CGI faces, I prefer over these, and then obviously the model series faces I'll always prefer over everything else. But, that one's fine. He's got a nice little smiling face. I like that his eyes are pointed forward. I never like it when they're pointed to the side, unless it's like a variant. And then you'll also notice we got magnets. Magnets are back. This is the new thing that they're doing is that both Diecast and Motorized have these wooden railway style magnets now. I have seen, at least on Motorized, that you can't really get really long trains because the magnets aren't strong enough, and also the engines themselves aren't strong enough to pull super long trains, especially if they have loads in them. You can't really get a huge long train like you could with Tomy or Trackmaster or any of the Trackmasters. These, I'm not sure how strong these are, the diecast ones, but I guess we'll kind of see today because I will have all three of these guys pulling each other. But I don't mind it. I think it's fine. At first I was like, they look really ugly. And I don't know. Now I think the front one looks ugly. It's kind of sticks out a lot, but it's not terrible. It's better in the back. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever go back to the old couplings or maybe shrink them down to more of a take-along style size. But, these are fine, and they're easier for kids. I know that's another big thing that they want to do is to make everything easier for kids to play with, which, that is... I have no problem with that because these are for children, so designing them for children should be a priority over weirdos like me who are in their mid-20s or older who still like this shit, Not that there's anything wrong with that, and it seems like Mattel is more aware of us now, but these are for kids first and foremost, and I think more people need to keep that in mind. They aren't just making these for adult collectors, they are for kids. So I think making these with kids in mind should be the priority, and changes like these magnets, which make things easier for kids to connect and play with, and making everything more compatible so that if they have a Diecast Thomas and a bunch of Motorized rolling stock, then they can all play together, and it's not, they don't have to figure out how to connect this magnet to the plastic couplings that they used to have. Everything's easier, simpler for the kids to understand and play with, and I think that's fine. Us adults, we can get these, we can talk about them, we can enjoy them, but these aren't really made for us. We have all the Bachman stuff. That's what we get, and that stuff is made with us in mind, I would say more so than this. Even though I'm sure adult collectors were considered with this because they went back to sort of the original designs of most of the characters. Now, unlike on the packaging, Thomas has some rivets, and he has these handrails again, and I think they're done really good here. Of course, that's carried over from season 23, and they've been streamlined a bit. There's less of them. They're placed in more sensible places. I think that started with Wonders of Sodor. I know in that game, they've also like resized the rivets. They're smaller and they don't stick out as much, so they're less distracting size-wise. But also the developers put them in more sensible places, which I like. And I think they've done a similar thing for the reboot, even though it's a different style completely from that game, which uses the CGI stuff. But I think this looks better and distract too much, and I like them. I've never had problems with rivets as long as they aren't egregious. And I think now they're at a point where they blend in well and they don't distract too much. Also, we have the whistle there. It is not painted. I wish it was, but it's there. And then we have the cab. You can't see through the cab. We have plastic for the roof of the cab and the coal in the coal bunker. That's all one piece. We got the lamp on the back, which isn't painted either. And there's also that red box that's on the back sometimes is not there. I don't know if that'll be in the show or not. Of course, on the running board, there is no white paint, which they've never really done with Diecast. So that's not surprising. But also no painted lamp. Sorry, there's no painted lamp, but the lamp is there, which is nice. Nice to see that. And then the buffers are not painted either. That does bother me because they used to. Now all of a sudden they're not. I don't like that. I like it when the buffers have a little black paint on them. The smoke box and the funnel and the face are plastic, and also the wheels and the chassis. Here's the chassis. Thomas's name. It's not printed on. It's actually like molded into the plastic. I really like that. Then we have this ticket on the bottom. That's new. I don't know what this ticket thing is, but it's there. Then we have the wheels. You can't really tell on camera, but it's a different shade of blue than the body is. It's like it's a tiny bit lighter. Also, I'm noticing with the way that this is lit, one of my issues with this is that I feel like there's too much space between the wheels and the running board. He needs to be lowered just a tiny, tiny bit. I think there's too much space there, and he's a little tall. But when you have like a little shadow there, it looks a little better. But then I'm looking at it right now. I have it tilted, and the lights, this area is lit up. And it looks weird, but then on camera from here, it doesn't look as bad. So yeah, that's an issue I think I only have with Thomas, where he's just riding a little too high, the body from the chassis. So I hope that in future iterations of this, that they lower him just a tiny bit, just a little bit, because I think there's too much space between the wheels and the running board, and you see kind of where they connect, where the plastic of the running board connects and is, pinned in with the chassis and the wheels. So yeah, rolls well. Yeah, there's Thomas. I think Thomas is good. My biggest complaint, again, is the spacing between the wheels and the running board. But besides that, I think this is pretty good. Now, let's move on to Percy. Don't even trip, dog. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way because that's a meme or something. Okay, here's Percy. Percy, I think, looks fine as well. He's pretty chunky. He's a chunky boy. Here he is next to Thomas. Thomas is a little taller than Percy, which I don't mind. He's a little heftier than Thomas just because it was, it's huge boiler compared to Thomas. I think Percy's pretty good. I think he's all right. He doesn't have as much space between the running board and the wheels. Oh, he does have his lamp back there, and not too many rivets. It's just on the cab. Looking at the art, the art you can't really see. It cuts off before he gets to his cab, but We do have these handrails on his saddle tank, which I think are pretty good. I think that was in CGI, but it wasn't on any of the toys from last year. They only had the handrails around the cab door. They didn't have the tank ones. I think it looks good and adds a little bit of color. This thing right there, I don't know what that is. That is painted black on both sides. There's his number 6. I feel like, and I think Thomas is kind of the same. I think the red outline is kind of off center. So like on one side, it's kind of, there's more red than the other side. I don't know if that's on purpose, because it's on both of them. I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's like a misprint, but I find that interesting. He's got his domes. This is not gold, which is a little disappointing. And also the whistle isn't painted either. Cab roof and the whole coal bunker are one plastic piece. I like that. And then, like I said, smoke box and the face are also plastic, and the running board and the chassis and the wheels pretty close to the same green as the rest of him. He does have a lamp and his face. He's doing the DreamWorks face. And I don't know, it's fine. It kind of looks like Percy. I think he's a little, I feel like he looks too matured and not chubby enough. I feel like he needs to be a little chubbier. Maybe, I think he looks a little chubbier there. I think I like him in the render more than here, where I think he looks a little too mature and not as chubby. I like a chubby little Percy, you know, because he's a chunky little guy. He should be kind of chubby. He should look kind of young because he's the youngest member of the STEAM team, or the famous 8. Also, interestingly, he's the only one with lamp irons. He has lamp irons. Thomas and James do not. That is interesting. So there you go. There's a little purse. James has arrived. All right, James is here. And James is our deluxe tender engine. So he's a little bigger. I think James is all right. I think proportion-wise, the anniversary one is better. But I think size-wise, this is better. I think he could have been just a tiny bit taller than Thomas. They are about the same size, but you know, I think they're pretty close. I'm also noticing that James's running board is a different shade of red to Thomas and Percy. I think I like this red more than these. These are kind of like a more brick red, and this is like a cherry red. I like this more. And it's kind of the same red as the rest of him. So that's interesting that's a different shade. I don't know if that's the case with Gordon and Henry and that Edward that's in the zoo pack, if they're all gonna have different reds from everyone else. Because I know Gordon and Thomas, and I think also Edward, they're all different shades of blue. And I think that's the same for Percy and Henry. So I don't know, maybe part of that is also that James, his red running board is a different shade of red than everyone else's. I don't know. Either way, James is a mixed bag. I don't know why he's such a mixed bag. He always is. But I think this is a pretty decent James. Size-wise, I think he's good. Proportion-wise, I think the anniversary one is better. And the motorized James is probably the worst thing out of all of the reboot merchandise. It looks like something out of Trackmaster 2, and I think it is awful. And I really, really hope that Mattel redesigns them in the future, because he's dog shit. He looks horrible compared to everyone else. James, I'll get to that. You know, I think James is fine. He has gray wheels instead of the black wheels. Can you tell on the box? Oh no, on the box, I think he kind of has gray wheels going on. Yeah, I think he's gonna have gray wheels. He has gray wheels here. So he might actually have him in the show. He might actually have him in the show as opposed to the black wheels. I've never been bothered by the gray wheels as opposed to the more accurate black wheels. Adds a little extra color to the toy, so I don't mind it. But, you know, he has all his gold lining and black lining. That looks pretty good. The handrail does not go, oh wait. I was gonna say it doesn't go onto that. It doesn't on the art. I don't remember if it goes on there in CGI or the model series, but it does not on the art or this toy. Interesting. We do have handrails on the cab and the tender, which looks pretty good. There's the inside of the cab. Don't really have a lot of room if you want to put like a figure in there, unless you want to like Dremel all that out. Coal load is molded into the tender, and the tender is completely plastic. The paint on that, it's not great. There's some like red speckles in there. I kind of wish that was a separate plastic piece. I think that would have looked a little better, but I don't know, it's fine. Doesn't have a black lining on the 5. That's interesting. No lamp on the back. There's a black smudge on his tender there. Interesting. Also, you'll notice the tender is connected. You cannot remove the tender. I don't mind that, because it was always really annoying when the tender would come disconnected with your take-alongs and your wooden railway, and you might lose it. It's this way.
Oh, help!
You ain't losing that tender, I'll tell you that, unless you like snip that with like what? The fuck was that? He was like, that was weird. If you snip that, then you could, but yeah, it's not coming apart. I like that. You do get a decent amount of motion out of that, and it kind of twists as well. There's a little twisty action there. I want to talk about his face.
Your color's nice, James. Pity about your face, though.
This is Edward, not James. I think if this had a round nose like Thomas, this would look more like James, but as it stands, this is Edward, not James. I don't know why they gave him a pointy nose. I saw someone theorize that they gave him a pointy nose so he fits in more with Gordon and Henry, and then they like looked at the way they're all angled and it like reflects their character. Like James is the really snooty one, so his nose points up, and then Gordon he's always looking down on everyone, so his nose points down, and then Henry's a little more level-headed, so his nose is flat and straight. I don't know, it just I don't know, I'm just so used to him having a round nose that seeing him with a pointy nose, all I see is Edward, so that's weird. That is plastic. Smoke box plastic. The dome is a separate plastic piece. I don't know why they couldn't do that with Percy, because they did it before, but they have done it with James. No whistle for James. James's whistle is not present. James! The cab is part of the same plastic as the running board. That might explain why it's the same red. So these weren't two jarring colors of red. Another thing I do want to mention is that the pilot wheel does turn, so that's cool, and we have somewhat correct wheel configuration. The tender should have 3 sets of wheels. It only has 2. I mean, I don't know, maybe in the show he's gonna have 2, but typically it's 3, and obviously his tender is a lot shorter. There you go. There's James. He has a lamp too. They'll have a lamp. That's fun. I like that they have lamps. Okay, there's James. Here are the boys together, all in line. I think my favorite is Thomas. I think Thomas might be my favorite. I think he just looks, I don't know, it might be Percy too, but like his face, I don't know, and like the dome not being gold, and Thomas's height. Whoa! Okay, well, I wasn't gonna do this yet, but there's Thomas and Percy connected via their magnet, and there's that. Let us connect them to James and pull them along. So here they go. There's 3 of them going around. Oh, disconnected because I took too sharp a turn. But, okay, if you're not on a track, be mindful of the turn that you do. If you do too sharp a turn, they will disconnect. But if you have them on the track, you know, that's not gonna be an issue. I think on inclines, if you have too long of a terrain, they will disconnect. So is that. Let's do do we want to do the dangerous test? I'm gonna do a dangerous test. I'm gonna dangle them, see if they'll fall. I also took my hoodie off because it's really hot in here all of a sudden. I don't know why it's so hot. But here we go. We got them all. Let's couple them up. We'll do Thomas and Percy first. So that's holding up. That wasn't bad. He held up pretty good. I wasn't going super hard. I think if I go like that, he's gonna uncouple, but yeah, it's not bad. Let's try with James. I don't know, because the tender's plastic, so there's not too much extra weight. I mean, the main part of him feels a little heavy, but Percy's pretty heavy on his own. I don't know, let's see. Let's find out. Okay. So, what we have learned here today, kids, is that the magnets work, and I don't know. I mean, I don't remember how strong the take-along magnets were, or even the wooden railway ones, but, you know, they're okay. You know, I think the better test would be, you know, get more characters, more rolling stock, have it on the track, maybe on an incline, see how it fares, because right now just having 3 of these guys and just rolling them around on a table and dangling them in midair, I don't know, they work, but if you push them too far, they won't. So that's my review of the magnets, because some people have a conniption with how the magnets work. Did you even see that? My head might have been cut off, I don't know. I'm not working with my usual equipment today, so if this video is a bit fucked, I apologize. Not working with all my usual shit. Okay, so final thoughts. I think these toys are not terrible. I feel like some people might call me crazy for saying that, but these are fine. They're harmless. They aren't like what came before, but I think, you know, these aren't like the classic like hurdles or take along and take a plays, and even the anniversary diecast from last year. They have their pros and cons. I think some paint apps are good. I think some are bad. I think some design elements are good and some are bad. I think some use of material is good and bad, but overall I think these are fine. And honestly, I think the diecast range is my favorite of the new toys, because they just feel like they're a bit more accurate to the show, and I don't know, I think they just look better than the motorized stuff. I think a lot of that is kind of, it's got weird proportions and weird stuff going on just to fit the motors and everything. And also, like I said, I think that has more quality control issues in diecast, but I could be wrong because I don't have any of those, and you know, I don't know every single problem that every single person who's bought these has faced. So far to me, I'm not experiencing any problems. These aren't broken, these aren't missing paint, They don't have messed up magnets or backwards, upside down faces or missing parts. They're all working as they should, and they're all constructed correctly. So I don't know. So yeah, there they are. I think these are fine. I think James is my least favorite, and then I think Thomas and Percy are tied. I can't really pick which one I like more than the other. So yeah, there is my review of some of the 2026 Thomas Diecast. Do I recommend these? Yeah, sure. If you want to get these, go right ahead. Oh, someone turned the fireplace on. I don't think I can turn it off. It's not like a timer, so okay, well, it's like 2 minutes less now, but that explains why it's so hot. Also, Okay, I'm gonna cut him off because he's just gonna keep on rambling and tell you that I plan on doing another video about the 2026 reboot diecast where I just go through the entire collection of them. I plan on getting the rest of them eventually.
I don't know what eventually means, but it sounds very, very long.
And just talking about them, not like an unboxing like this, but just like an overview collection type video. I think that could be kind of fun to do in the future. So that'll be a thing that happens eventually. I don't know when, but in the future, especially after all of the like wave 3 and 4 announcements that we're getting, like Rickety and Ben and Stepney and Boko? What? So, expect that video eventually, I guess after the Stepney and Boko ones come out, because I'd like to get all of those classic characters. Those are the ones I want to get the most, with a couple CGI characters thrown in there, and Bruno. So stay tuned for that. That is coming in the future. Also, did you guys see that Bachman's making a Diesel 10? What the fuck? I didn't think that was ever possible. What? I know, it's crazy. And I swear to God, they better make Pinchy like super articulated, because if he's not, I'm gonna be very angry. You motherfucker! Alright, that's all I got. So, I hope you guys enjoyed your new favorite video, and I will see you in your next favorite video. Goodbye!